Hey guys, it's Todd. You know the drill. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and all that stuff. Okay, now this video is from a guy who's from Canada. He's been all over Asia. He's been to Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, and he's based in Bali. But this interview is being taken place in the Philippines. And he talks about his experience with the women in all of these places. Well, he's comparing the women in Vietnam to the women in the Philippines. And I know every man who visit these countries may have a different experience, but his experience is pretty much the same for most men. Now, when I was in Asia and went to Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines, I had a pretty positive experience. And from my observations and talking to other people, I think black men have a much better experience when it comes to the women in these countries than the white guys, especially black American men. I think we have a pretty good reputation. So his experience might be a little bit different than, the typical black American man. Because when I was in these countries, I had girls from 18 all the way up to 50 letting me know they're interested in me, where him, if it was in the Philippines, he had young girls like that around 18 or in the early 20s interested. But he said when he goes to Vietnam, the girls who are mostly interested in him are mostly the girls in their early to mid 30s. So, every place is going to be different. But like I keep saying that, I think the black American men have a much better experience than white guys in Asia. And number two, I keep hearing comments from people that say, these girls only interested in us because we have money and it's a transactional relationship and all that BS. And I keep telling them that this is a different culture, a different country, and you can't compare the two, United States to the countries in Asia. And you got to get out of your Western mindset. But, they don't want to listen. But the bottom line is this. If she's happy and he's happy, that's all that counts. Doesn't matter if he's 81 years old and she's 18. If they're both happy, that's all that matters. All right? So here's a video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Okay, adios.
You have options that you don't have in the West. Like, to make it short, Philippines is something, and I think Philippines has this Christian background and the English, which makes it easier and maybe more trendy. Otherwise than that, even if I haven't traveled other Southeast Asian country, I would say that in a way or in another is the same. You're gonna have easy access to a larger pool of women in terms of dating and choice, of course. But the thing here, as I mentioned, is you can find something so genuine, and what a Filipina can bring on the table is worth so much. But okay, we're talking about maybe a minority or not that much, but you can find it here. You can find it there too, I guess. You can date easily in town. In the smaller places, you see women are interested. Yes, you can see that women are interested.
When you get out of the city, just like here.
It's different, but it's gonna be more like a 30-year-old woman who's single. She's gonna literally really like, they go straight to you.
So it's similar.
Not the younger. The younger, they look at you. Like those look in the eyes you can find. You're just driving a scooter in the Philippines, and it's like I feel like just the look in the eyes tells you like, oh, I wish maybe you were my boyfriend, or kind of. There's something like that you can see in the eyes of the Filipina in the provinces when you just drive your scooter in a random place. You have that in Hanoi, but the vibe is completely different. They are really, really well dressed. They are really classy.
If you could live in Vietnam or the Philippines, let's say you have a wife and you're happy. Let's not even say where she's from.
Okay.
Where would you live?
I would tend to say Vietnam.
All right, single guy. Now you're not married, and you have to choose a place to live for a year.
And I just want to date as many girls as I want.
No, you want to find the one for you. The perfect girl for you. Whatever that is, we don't need to get into it. Do you spend a year in Vietnam, renewing your visa, exiting, coming back, all those hassles, or do you stay in the Philippines and just renew your visa and stay for a year?
To go to Vietnam is cheaper. To get out of Vietnam is cheaper. The food is cheaper. So much things are better.
All right.
The language barrier is a thing. And if you look for a really younger woman, you're gonna have more of a hard time finding her. But if you look for a genuine, fantastic woman, you're gonna find her there. Or
Okay.
in Thailand, I guess, or in Cambodia. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so you're not going to get the younger options there, but
Less.
less.
My first idea when I moved 2 years ago and a half in Bali was to have a Filipina girlfriend in Bali.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
But
They wanna-
now I'm
yeah.
into having a Filipina girlfriend in Vietnam.
Okay.
And let's go to Bali sometime and bring her to Canada sometime as a vacation. But I will not move back in Canada with my girl. No.
What you're saying, I've heard so many times. Meet the girl in the Philippines, and then take her to, if you want to live in Thailand, take her there.
Yeah.
Move there.
You
Move
heard-
to
you heard
Bali.
that? It's true?
I've heard this a lot.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not the unique.
Well, you're touching
Oh.
on some things, right? I think there's more options in the Philippines, and the language barrier isn't there.
More option for the younger, not more option.
Okay.
I'm not sure I would say that. There is more option.
Okay. And then, so the only other...
Of course, if you're 65 and you weigh 300 pounds and you have heart problems and things like that, probably it's going to be easier for you to find a genuine woman who's going to be willing to take care of you as a caregiver and offer you genuine, nice partnership. You know?
Here, in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
yeah, you're gonna see like older guys.
Yeah.
So the people who are judging like the 20, let's say, because I haven't seen it, but let's say a 20-year-old girl with an 80-year-old guy. This is companionship and care, and this can be a good deal. But we're not talking about the crazy sex life or things like that. It's something very.
But
You can say transactional, but I don't like the term at all. But there's a thing.
Yeah.
You know. But it's gonna be easier in the Philippines to find something like that if you, let's say, have less to offer in a certain way, which
That's a good point.
yeah.
Not just age gap, but you mentioned overweight. So even the look.
An example, as an
Yeah.
example of in Vietnam, you're talking about look and health, like everybody walks, everybody has a bicycle. I'm talking about the eldest
Yeah.
people.
Oh.
They are so healthy.
Okay,
there.
speak on that. Let's be
Overweight
raw
at
about
25. You see, we talked about that. Like
What do you
the-
see here in the Philippines with health as girls get older?
You have Coca-Cola full of sugar. You have sugar in the bread. You have, and I'm a sugar addict. It's difficult for me. It's like if I was an alcoholic in a bar, being in the Philippines for me with the sugar. In Vietnam, it's not there.
Are girls, as they age,
Slim.
they stay slim?
Slim.
Even the 30s and
Slim.
40s?
They're
and
really careful
50s,
about
yeah.
it, and the food diet is more balanced. It's much healthier. Like there's a big difference. This, which would be a big reason for me to live in Vietnam. If you put a gun on my head and I have to choose, I will go to Vietnam. But the culture and the connection and the common background, the language and the Christianity and all sorts of things that are more human related, it's easier with the Philippines. But for my health, Vietnam, 100%. For the culture, Vietnam, 100%. You know, like the no sex before marriage, like as a Western guy, like from the 80s or something. Oh, what the heck is that? Now that I'm living here, okay, I understand. This is there for a reason, and it makes sense. You find virgin women in their mid-late 20s here.